tutorial on how to assemble your new Helix. Every version of the Helix assembles the same, so today we're going to be using a 1.0, but the same application applies across the board. Alright, so first things first, make sure you got all your materials. As far as tools, I recommend having a power drill, though it's not necessarily mandatory. Having a wide enough Phillips bit is going to be important to not stripping out your screw, but this is going to help a lot to screw it in as tight as it needs to be. Alright, so pretty straightforward stuff. You don't have to start with your handguard being in place. That's just something that I personally like to do so that I can make sure it seats nicely into the O-ring of the receiver piece. Now, you'll notice the holes in your barrel piece are going to line up with the receiver piece. You're going to run that all the way through as normal, and you're going to wedge your little pressure tab right back in here. We're not going to worry about that again for the moment. It's going to be real tight. That is intentional. That's going to help us absorb a lot of that impact from butt slams and the like. So we get all this lined up, and then we put in our trigger plate. Your longest screw is going to be the middle screw, and this is already grooved out, as you can see, to locking that into place. We're going to tighten that down. When you put in your middle screw, it's going to be a bit long, and you're going to have some wiggle room once you make that screw flush with the top of the locking nut. This wiggle room is intentional. It's going to help absorb impact in day-to-day use. Alright, so we've got our shortest screw going into this pressure tab back here, the locking nut right above. Now you'll notice on the pressure tab, it's not made quite the same way as the receiver piece. When you spin in, that locking nut can spin too. So you're going to want something like these tweezers or any small flathead screwdriver or the like that you can put in there, stop it from spinning, and get that screw tightened in to be flush with the top of that locking nut. Then we're going to go to our third and final, run that all the way through everything, locking nut on top. It's going to be important to make sure that they're not too tightened down when you slip the handguard into that O-ring, because it's going to get real tight after that. So you tighten up here, you tighten up back here. Alright, and then your handguard is in place and you are good to go. So now that the main hardware is in place, all other hardware gets affixed as normal, from your butt plate to your bayonet lug. Happy drilling.
Hey Jim.